I'll be whatever I want to do.
You'll be what I fucking tell you. Hello and welcome everybody to Bogus Features, the show where everything's made up and nothing matters. I'm Nick Narrow.
I'm Corey Bresser.
And hopefully
It says it right here.
Yeah, our names. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, but we could be lying. But we're not. Those are our names. Anyway, this is the very first episode. And
No E. Look at it. It says it right there. C-O-R-Y. No E. If you put an E in my name, I hate you.
Everybody put an E in his name. Anyway.
Shut up, you. Nobody asked you. Green Lantern.
This is a show where we're going to watch some television shows and talk about them while we're watching them. And you can watch along at home if you have Netflix, because we're only going to watch Netflix shows. So, there we go. On this episode, you probably already know because you clicked on it, we're going to watch Pokemans.
The Pokemans?
Pokemans. From the first episode of Pokemans onward. Now, I watched a little bit when I was younger, but I didn't really watch a whole bunch. Corey's more the Pokemon expert, so we're gonna... Well, I'll default to him for facts, but I read up on it, and I've got some facts that I can tell you during these episodes. So basically...
I'll be throwing out facts.
The show... We're gonna do a lot of shows, obviously, but this is gonna be kind of like a director's commentary, except we have nothing to do with anything.
No, nothing. This is all Nintendo. We get no money from Nintendo or any. I'm pretty sure Nintendo would want us to not do this.
Yeah,
but we're doing it anyway.
We are. We're some rebels. So yeah.
So we're rebels with a cause. And that cause is to be retards.
Yeah. No offense to any of the mentally handicapped that are out there watching our show. We love you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I'm going to give you a countdown over in this little corner here.
This is me doing a fake judgmental look as if you're right next to me, but really in the video, it looks like I'm looking at you, but really I'm not because you're not right next to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a lot of horse manure, but it's to be expected. It's the first episode. Anyway,
manure!
Countdown.
I hate manure!
That I'm going to give you to let you know when we start, but I'm also going to say it out loud. So I'm going to get my controller ready to hit play. Corey also.
I will be watching on my PlayStation 3.
By the way,
Sony's not paying us either.
Or Netflix or whoever. Bring back the party feature. This would really help us rather than what we're going to do.
It would, and that would be cool. I would enjoy that.
Anyway, First season, first episode, Pokemon Indigo League on the Netflix. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, first thing you gotta say, one of the best openings of any TV show ever. That song.
Oh yeah, I love this song.
How can you not? Oh, there's my boy. There's Haunter. By the way, I'm saying it right now. Favorite Pokemon overall, bar none, Haunter. Absolutely love Haunter. Every game I have ever played where I was, working towards catching them, I would get 2 Haunters. I would catch one, trade it to my friend to become Gengar, and then just, I'd get it back and give it back to him. So I would have Gengar's Pokédex data. But I would not evolve my Haunter. I love Haunter.
I played Pokemon when the first game. That's it. I played Pokemon Red. That's it. That's all I ever played.
Which I think most people played Red rather than Blue.
Yeah. I don't know, but
gotta get you all.
So.
And then of course we have the iconic opening from the original game. Awesome. Speaking of Gengar. Actually, that was more the Final Fantasy IX battle music. Or, 7. I'm sorry. That was 7. Here's one of those little...
I do love the Pokemon.
Here's one of those little random factoids for you, Nick. Do you know who what Pokemon was the first Pokemon ever developed? Like the first one that they said, this is going to be one of our Pokemans.
No clue.
It was actually Rhydon.
What is it?
Rhydon. Which is why, in the original games, as you're traveling around, all the statues are of Rhydon. Because that was the first one. It was like that, they developed him, and that was just the little Snorlax, another one of my favorites. That was the statue you saw because it was the first Pokemon they developed.
So wait.
Which is funny because it's not even the first form in its line. Like even in the first game it went Rhyhorn, Rhydon, and then in Diamond and Pearl they introduced Rhyperior.
Okay, cool. So these kids are all 10 years old?
Ish.
Well, he just said I just turned 10 so I can get my Pokemon license.
Well, I'm saying not everyone is 10 when they start, but yes, you can be 10 years old and start your Pokemon journey.
I just love, I love that 10-year-old mentality, because the first shot of Ash is he's, putting on the glove, and he's like, here's my hat, and I'm super awesome badass. For a 10-year-old, yeah, it would be pretty badass.
Probably. Who'd you start with when you played?
Oh, I don't even, probably Charmander, but I don't remember. What I might have done, because I got red and my brother got blue, what we might have done is just kept restarting, and I would trade all of them to him until we had both could have all of the starters. I think
Which is what everybody did when they had access to both versions. Now, back in the day, kids, you couldn't do that unless you had what was called a link cable. You actually had a wired connection that had to plug into another Game Boy. While I had a friend who had the other copy of the game, I had red, he had blue, we did not have a link cable. So no trading whatsoever happened, which sucked.
Yeah.
First time I played through Pokemans, I used Charmander. Second time I played through Pokemans, I used Bulbasaur. I'm not sure if I went to Squirtle the third time, but I did at one point play through with Squirtle. Oh, Gary, what a dick.
I played through one time, and I didn't beat it. I'm pretty sure I got to the final league, right? That's what it is. The
Elite Four.
The Elite Four. And stopped. Didn't play anymore.
This guy.
I don't know why. But
he's going to be the one getting all the captions. It's going to be like, I don't know this shit.
Yeah, no.
No, he's going to caption me and make me look like an asshole.
I'm going to make us both look like assholes.
All right, that's fair.
If you already watched our episode of Raw, then you know that that's fairly accurate.
And if you didn't watch our first episode, with the Monday Night Raw episode, click the link here. He's not going to put an annotation there.
There's no link, yeah. I don't suggest watching it unless you have 3 hours of your life you don't like.
Description.
Or only like a little bit. It's wrestling for 3 hours.
So here's another, with another little factoid there for you, Nick. Have you read the theory about Gary in the video games?
Enlighten me. I may have, but...
Okay, it's this whole theory about how you're actually kind of the bad guy in the games.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay, what this theory is, for those of you who don't know, is there's this very prominent theory that you are actually the antagonist, and Gary is the protagonist. And the reason that they follow this storyline is, if for those of you who didn't play the original game, you encounter Gary a number of times throughout your entire journey. He's actually the final boss in the game.
Wait, hold on one second as we're watching this episode. So wait, Ash wanted Squirtle first, then Bulbasaur.
Initially, yes, he went for Squirtle.
And Charmander was his last choice? What a
Yeah, he did it wrong.
Huh?
Yeah, he was wrong. He did it wrong. But let's not forget the fact that his inevitable choice, the mascot of the series, Pikachu, is also a dick. As you're about to see. Hopefully, if you're synced up with us properly, or your internet doesn't suck. That would be a shame, too.
I read on IMDb, which is where I got most of my facts, that Ash's starter Pokemon in the show was originally going to be Clefairy.
I did read that, too, yes.
But they picked Pikachu so that he would appeal to boys and girls. Clefairy would have been hilarious, though.
I agree.
Yeah, most of my Pokemon knowledge comes from whatever Pokemon characters were in Super Smash Brothers. That's about it.
So that leaves you with Charizard, Ivysaur, Squirtle, Pikachu, Pichu, Mewtwo, Lucario, Jigglypuff.
Yes.
Well, I think it's safe to say you don't know anything about Grey Ninja.
Wait, is he in Smash? Like, I know he's gonna be a playable character in the new Smash, but he?
He didn't exist when Brawl came out. He's from the latest generation X and Y. He's the final form of the water starter, and it seems like he's an extremely popular character. Seems like he's the I actually heard people say he is the water equivalent to Charizard, like that level of badass, because everybody loves Charizard. Like I said, Pikachu's a dick.
Oh, Pikachu's the dick? Here, let me throw my ball at your head. Just get in.
Don't act like you've never done that.
But just get in. I don't know what I'm doing. That's my Ash voice. No, I guess
I hope for
because he's 10 years old. I know what I'm doing. Just get in the ball.
I hope every bit of this commentary, that's the voice you use for Ash. Forever. That's now Ash Ketchum's voice. By the way, great name. Ash Ketchum. Gotta catch 'em all. Genius, Nintendo. Genius.
I bet it was an accident. Anyway, what if
I never got to finish.
Wait. Could I just say, like, wouldn't it be hilarious if in this first episode, like, Ash picks up Pikachu and he electrocutes him to death? Like, any other person taking that amount of, like, voltage would be dead. And that's just like, like, that's it. The whole episode ends in whatever 6 minutes. He's like, "Oh, just pick Pikachu up," and he's fucking dead.
Well, the thing you gotta remember, Nick, is Pokemon never die, and they don't die. And nobody dies in Pokemon. They faint.
Yeah, but they
faint.
That's another one of those, like, fan theories. Well, no, because in the first game...
Which I'm glad you brought back, because that's the point I was making. Okay. That's the point I was making before with Gary, that I never got to finish.
Yeah.
So, the theory is that Red, the canon name of the main character from Generation 1, was the antagonist. And as you travel, at one point you actually go on a cruise ship.
Right.
And at this point, you fought Gary several times, and he had, at one point he had a Rattata, which of course evolved into Raticate. So you fought this Raticate a number of times, and you get on this cruise ship and you fight him there. You defeat him, story goes on. Now, you're on the cruise ship for a while. The next time you encounter Gary is at Pokemon Tower, which is where you catch Haunter. And he's talking about, have you ever had a Pokemon die? It's terrible. And you fight him there, and he doesn't have Raticate. You never see Raticate again. The theory there is that because you fought him on the cruise ship, he couldn't get to a Pokemon Center, and Raticate died. So you killed one of his Pokemon, basically. Red killed one of his Pokemon.
Right.
So there's that, and you're a horrible person for that.
Well, not to mention when you say you fight a Pokemon in the wild and it faints and you just leave it there. So you don't catch it, obviously, you just leave it on the ground. Like if your Pokemon faints, you have to bring it to the hospital to make it get better, right?
True.
And if you don't, they could die. So what happens to all of the fainted Pokemon you leave out in the wild? They die.
Well, some of them
probably get eaten by other Pokemon.
Some of them have moves like rest and recover that'll let them heal.
Yeah, but not if they're unconscious.
Well, I would think if they're unconscious, they're already resting.
I suppose.
So anyway, the theory goes on that, well, actually, at this point, it's fact. It's not theory. And you go through you fight Gary a number more times throughout your journey, and you go through the Elite Four. And you think the story's over until you find out that Gary had just beaten the Elite Four, and now he is the Pokemon League champion. So what do you have to do? Like I said, final boss of the game, you fight Gary again. I think his name was Blue. His canon name is Blue. We're gonna have to watch Pokemon The Origin after this.
Okay.
So anyway, you play through the game, you've beaten him, at every crossing, and now this is it. He has just become the Pokemon champion. So you show up, and you dethrone him minutes after he becomes champion. And what happens? Out comes Professor Oak to praise you and scold Gary. So his only family member is like, Red, you're awesome. Blue, you're a piece of shit. You need to work harder. Bad you. Let's go shower Red with love. Gary's also an orphan, by the way. He has no parents. So you killed one of his Pokemon. You just beat him again and again and again and again. And then when he finally gets his crowning achievement and achieves his dream, you take that away from him too and pretty much steal the love of his only living family member. So you're a dick in Pokemon Red. You are a dick.
Of all of those,
you're the worst person ever.
Well, let's break that down a little bit. I have two issues with it, and it's the only two things are, one I'm unsure of, but I'll start it there. When you're on the ship, and if you have a fainted Pokemon, you can heal them on your own, right? If you have enough potions or whatever you get. Like, you don't need to go to
potions, revives.
Right.
Revives, potions, yeah.
So Gary's Pokemon dying is his own fault. Really, because number one, he challenges you on the boat, correct? And number two,
Pikachu's Thundershock. It's super effective.
If he was going to go on a cruise, he should have been properly packed with potions or revives or whatever you needed. That's his own fault. Number two, what were you supposed to do? Just not try to beat him to be the champion? Oh, it's you? You're the champion? Oh, well, I'll let you just be the champion. Like, the whole point is to become the champion. It's more that Gary, Professor Oak, is a dick for being a dick to his own nephew, really.
Grandson.
But it's possible that Gary / Blue is just a piece of shit as a human being. He kind of is a piece of shit all the way through anyway.
Well, Gary is a piece of shit. Blue, he was just another Pokemon trainer.
Right, but when he comes up to challenge you...
Ash turned his hat around. Look out, everybody. Ash turned his hat around. Shit's about to get real.
Fucking Magikarp.
Oh, God, Magikarp.
And Gyarados?
And Gyarados.
Yay! I know some Pokemans.
Here's something you probably didn't know about Magikarp and Gyarados. Do you know who Dratini is?
No.
Okay, Dratini was actually one of the more difficult to catch Pokemons from the original generation. You could only catch it in the Safari Zone, and you had to fish with the Super Rod. It was the only original Dragon type Pokemon. There was one, Dratini. Well, and of course its evolved form, Dragonair and Dragonite. What's interesting is Dragonite was originally going to be the evolved form of Magikarp. So Gyarados was going to be the evolved form of Dragonair, the evolved form of Dratini. So it was going to be Dratini, Dragonair, Gyarados, Magikarp becomes Dragonite. If you look at the like, you can see kind of similarities between them. And it was all born from the reason Magikarp becomes such a powerful Pokemon is it's an old Japanese legend of a carp would swim upstream, dive into a waterfall, and become a dragon. That hence Magikarp was going to become Dragonite, and that's why Gyarados is like a long serpentine thing, because Dratini and Dragonair, same thing, like a Draken, long and snake-like. So it's just one of those like really interesting things, like you see, like you kind of wonder like what went into the thought process there of making those things happen. Another interesting one is Caterpie. Caterpie evolves into Metapod, into Butterfree. Caterpie was originally going to evolve into the Pokemon Venomoth, and Venonat was going to evolve into Butterfree. And you can actually, that one's clear cut. You can see like the actual evolution of how Caterpie was going to become Metapod and become Venomoth, and Venonat literally looks more like Butterfree than Caterpie or Metapod do. But again, for whatever reason, they decided to just switch them up at the end. It was weird.
Well, let's just concede.
Uh-oh. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Pokemon is weird.
Ash and Pikachu are about to become best friends forever. Here we go.
Can we just become best friends?
Yup! That is not related to Pokemon at all. Great movie, though.
Whatever.
Skadoosh!
Here, let me almost kill my master with a giant...
Let's almost kill both of us. Here's a question now. What happened to all those Spearow? The bike is fried. Like, gone. Ash is just, like, all the... Were the Spearow disintegrated? Like, is Pikachu a mass murderer now?
Hell yeah, son. He's got that fucking gangsta rep to uphold.
No,
Dude,
no, he
Pikachu
doesn't.
is my favorite
Stop it.
Pokemon. He is my favorite Pokemon throughout all these
Boom.
generations of Pokemon.
That right there does not technically exist yet. That Pokemon was not introduced until Pokemon Gold and Silver. That is Ho-Oh. They originally lied and said it was Articuno. Oh yes, it's just Articuno. It's like, except Articuno looks nothing like that. And then Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, and there's Ho-Oh, and they're like, hey, that's the Pokemon Ash saw originally. So you're liars. Oh my gosh, does this show still end with the Pokerap? Like, does the Netflix version end with the Pokerap?
Couldn't tell you. I guess we're about to find out. But this is the very end
Oh
of the
my
episode,
gosh.
everybody, which means that we're coming to the very end of this episode, the very first episode of Pokemans. To be continued. The Pokerap.
Like, subscribe, comments, leave them. Here we go. Here's the Pokerap. Yes! Woo!
He's way too excited.
I used to actually know, like, the entire Pokerap, which is horrible. It's a bad thing to admit. Nick, you should be paying a special attention to this because you don't know any of these. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Across the land, searching far and wide. I'm sorry, people. You're gonna have to put up with my singing because Pokerap. Ah,
Corey
Grimer.
has horrible rhythm as well, so.
This is 100% true. It's a proven
I'm not
fact.
saying that to insult him. He's aware. But that's part of what's funny about it.
I'm doing my Will Wheaton here. Alright, so that was the end of the first episode.
All right, everybody. Till next time. Next time on Bogus Features, Pokemon Episode 2. See you then.
Are we done recording now?
Okay.